Good morning, and welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. Glad you could join me here today, as always. Today's topic is going to be, like and subscribe now. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Just press it. Okay, thanks. All right, today's topic is going to be the epidemic of obesity in the United States. That's a sore topic. It's amazing how you can call someone skinny or thin, and it's okay. But if you tell them they're fat, oh, that's like shaming someone. What do they call that? Fat shaming. We have a word for everything nowadays. Everyone's offended. Well, if you're fat, you're fat. And if you're skinny, you're skinny. It's just a fact, right? I was fat once. I understand. I was obese once. I understand that. They say 25 pounds over what your weight is supposed to be is obese. Well, I fought at 154, so that was my perfect shape, health-wise and fat body percentage-wise. I got down a little bit lower than that sometimes, 52, before I'd weigh in. But at one time, I got up to 184 pounds. So that's, let me see, about 30 pounds heavier than I am now. I weigh about 56 or 57 now. 67, 77, 80, about 25 to 30 pounds. Anyway, I was classified as obese, and I felt obese. I couldn't get my pants on, and honestly, if I was with a woman, I didn't want her to see me naked, as were always before and after I got that taken care of or handled, which took a long time. Even now, I take my clothes off in front of any girl I'm with and feel good about myself, feel proud of my body, proud of myself. Your body is your house. You're going to live in this the rest of your life. It's amazing, and I say this all the time. I'm sure you've heard it if you're a subscriber of mine. People will take better care of their cars, which are much value less than their body, than they will themselves. They fill themselves up with fast food 2 or 3 times a day, junk food from the quick stores, processed food from the grocery stores, and then they wonder why they feel like crap. And they go to the doctor to get a pill because they don't feel well. They wouldn't think about pulling up to an old crappy ass gas station and putting bad gas in their car. Maybe this gas station's been there for 100 years and everybody knows the tank should have been replaced a long time ago. So the gas has got dirt and water in it. And everybody talks about how badly their cars run after they use this gas. And you would, if someone told you that, would you pull up there and fill your $50 or $70 or $80,000 Escalade or whatever it is you drive up with that gas? Hell no, you wouldn't. But yet these same people will go to the Walmart or Schnucks or Deerbergs. The quality of food at Schnucks or Deerbergs is much better than that of Kroger's and much better than that of Walmart. Kroger's is a step above Walmart. But anytime you start buying all this processed food, you're not getting much vitamin value out of that. Everything that you are came from the earth, unfiltered. When you eat, what you eat turns into you. Well, guess what? If you're eating junk food with no vitamin value, guess what you turn into? A person with lack of vitamins, lack of value, lack of inner strength, lack of inner health, lack of everything. You're a physical, mental, emotional, spiritual being, metaphysical being if you like. Everything that goes into your ears, everything that goes into your mouth, everything that comes into you is what is expressed out of you. You need to remember that anytime you listen to something or watch something or eat something. But this topic's about food and obesity. So, and I understand it's a lot more expensive to eat organic, and even then you wonder about it. Is it really organic? But at least if you believe it is, the power of belief will help you too. But you and I both know when we eat candy bars and this junk food, not that you can't have a candy bar once in a while, but you and I both know, even the most illiterate people usually know that probably an apple, that is if you get an organic one or pull one off a tree, is better for you than a chocolate bar. Although chocolate does taste delicious. I must admit, I love chocolate. I still buy organic chocolate, and it's dark chocolate. It's kind of bitter, but I like it. I eat a little bit of that once in a while. I had a hard time getting off of protein bars because I really believe they're probably just a glorified candy bar. but they taste good and they make you feel like you're eating something that actually is good for you. Whether it is or not, I'm not really sure about that. But anything that comes in a package that has a list of ingredients on it usually is not very good for you, or at least it's not as good as what you can buy in the produce section. But even that, if you don't get organic, has a lot of chemicals it's being grown with, insecticides that it's being sprayed on it, etc., etc. So it's really challenging. And also sugar. It's hard to find anything that's processed that isn't full of sugar. Everything has sugars in it. Too much sugar. The 3 white poisons: sugar, flour, and what is the other one? Salt, I think it is. I use very little salt. I get most of my sugars out of, I do use, I don't like honey, but I use molasses to sweeten things. Some of you probably wouldn't like that because it's got a little bit of a bitter taste to it, but I have a hard time staying away from sugar sweets. I think it was because my grandma told me that I had a sweet tooth, so she programmed me. It's her fault. No, it's my fault, my responsibility. So I really cut back on those things too. Breads, crackers, different things, cookies. I don't eat any sweets. Maybe if I travel, I may have a protein bar or some sweet, because it's really hard to find anything that's of fresh produce, as you know, in the airports or places like that, restaurants, very difficult. But you can make a conscientious effort to eat well, the same as you make the effort to change the oil in your car, to get it serviced regularly, to wash it, to clean it, to keep the tires aired up. Same thing. It's amazing how people value something they pay for, when the reality is you didn't pay for your body, but the value of it is much more than 10, 20, 30 cars, depending on what kind of car you buy. But can you put what price can you put on a human being? You can't replace it once it's gone. The car you can. Even if you have a Bugatti and you wreck it or it gets destroyed, you can replace that. If you get destroyed and you die, guess what? You can't be replaced. You may be able to be replaced by the company or by your wife once you're gone. But then again, you can never really be replaced, because you are unique, and all the people in the universe that's ever been born, or in this world, who knows what other universes there is, you are unique. There's no one like you, ever has been like you. This is what they say, whoever the infamous they are. And there will never be another person like you ever. But I believe that to be true. It's like fingerprints. There are no two exactly alike. But has anybody ever just checked everybody's fingerprints in the whole world? No. But more than likely, I choose to believe that they're right. So the point is, why don't you take care of yourself? Why do you overeat? Why did you get obese? Why do you get obese? Why did I get obese? Because I was hungry? No, certainly not. I was not hungry. My eating had nothing to do with being hungry. Oh, it did when I started, of course. But you eat because you have things inside of you that you're trying to push down. The obese person is no different from the alcoholic or the drug addict. Some of you may scream about that, but it's the same thing. You eat for the same reason. I ate for the same reason. And until I took care of the garbage inside of me, the shame, the guilt, the frustration, the despair, the anger, whatever, resentment, all these things, I had to push it down somehow. I had to do something to make me feel better. And that's why I ate. That's why I drank. That's why I did drugs. But I could not relieve these obsessions until I started cleaning out the garbage within me. Everyone wants to blame everybody out there, but your outer world, and actually your appearance, at least as far as being overweight or fat or skinny or thin, is a direct result of how you feel about yourself. Do you think people who are, let's say, 100, 200 pounds overweight feel good about themselves, contrary to what some of the advertisements say about the big and beautiful? Now, I'm not saying that big is not beautiful, because when I lived in Guatemala, I had a place there where men came in and they would talk to the girls, and they were more attracted to the bigger girls, the obese girls, the heavy girls that were maybe 50, maybe even 100 pounds overweight, in contrast to the more beautiful, to me, what I thought was more beautiful were the thinner girls, the in-shape girls, the girls with the hourglass figure, so to speak. So beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. So I'm not saying that that's not beautiful if you're 50 or 100 pounds overweight, because for some people it is. For me, it's not. I have friends that are overweight. I have friends that are obese. Do I think any less of them than I do my friends who are in shape? No, I don't. They're my friends. I would do anything for them the same as I would my other friends. The point I'm making here is it's not healthy. I think we'll all agree to that. I know for me to be 30 pounds overweight, I could tell. I didn't feel as good. I was sluggish. Psychologically, I hated what I saw when I looked in the mirror. But what I saw when I looked in the mirror really wasn't the fat. But the fat was only a reflection of how I felt about myself. Because I'll tell you, when I look in the mirror now, I look younger than I did when I was 27. Now, whether you think I do, doesn't matter to me, and you probably think, you're full of crap, Mark. Well, what I see when I look in the mirror is not so much this outer shell. I see the whole man. Now that is the outer shell plus what's inside. So when I was looking at myself in the mirror when I was 27, I thought I looked old because I was living a life that was very dishonest in my personal relationships. My business, I was extremely honest in business. I suppose so I could have one department of my life where I felt like I was okay. And then I felt justified in being dishonest with my spouse and all the other personal relationships, the girls that I was dating. I had what they call a harem, right? And you can do that without lying, but I chose to lie and do it, and I paid the price later on in my life. The price of dishonesty, and you reap what you sow, karma, what goes around comes around. It all came back to me, multiplied. That's how I learned that whatever you do for or to anyone comes back to you multiplied. But that's another video too. Back to the topic of obesity. So your problem of overeating has nothing to do with food or society, although if you watch daytime television or any kind of programs with commercials, they're constantly telling you to eat this, drink that, you'll feel better, you'll look better. And they show these beautiful, young, attractive, healthy, strong people, guys with six packs, these women with beautiful bodies, and they're gorging on this stuff and telling you to do the same. Now you may think that one commercial doesn't really do much to you, but repeated day in and day out, these commercials program your subconscious mind to desire to eat more. They wouldn't show you a person that was overweight and miserable trying to lose weight. And speaking of that, the diet and weight loss is a multi-billion-dollar industry. I believe $1 billion industry anyway. Okay, so if most people were happy with being overweight or obese, they would be broke. But they're not. They're thriving. Jenny Craig, all these diet plans, everywhere you look, diet, diet, diet. We live in a country where people are killing themselves by eating. And I did the same thing. So I'm not condemning you. I understand how you feel. I've been there. I would get up in the morning and eat, and I would stuff myself. And then I wouldn't do anything. I wasn't working at the time. This was a long time ago. And then when that would kind of settle down, I would eat more. I would even take laxatives. I mean, I would have made myself throw up. So I was in this binging and purging cycle, which I developed when I was boxing because I had to purge to lose weight. I would starve myself to make weight, and then I would binge. So no one talked about bulimia or anorexia back then, but I developed that. Maybe if I would have known, had some education about it, I would have been wiser about doing that. But it developed into a habit where I couldn't purge anymore, but I couldn't stop binging. So I may eat 5 or 6 times a day, I don't know, choke down 20, 30,000 calories or whatever, and then want to throw up. I couldn't do it. I couldn't make myself do it. So I did take some laxatives sometimes, and that just made me feel miserable, but it was just terrible. But as I said, until I discovered it was something inside of me that was causing that, and I started working on myself, getting this garbage out, to where this obsession went away, where I could just eat 1 or 2 cookies. I couldn't open a box of cookies without eating the whole package. So what I'm telling you is this. They have a 12-step program called Overeaters Anonymous. I went to one meeting years ago, but I found other ways to get this garbage out of myself. And there are steps to do that. There's a lot of 12-step programs out there that can help you. You may try to search one out in your local directory. But it's the obsession, it's the garbage that you have inside of you that you can't live with. And you're just trying to push that down, and you're using food to do it with. So there is a way out for you, not dieting. Dieting doesn't work, it just makes things worse. So this is the end. I gotta go. Maybe we'll speak on this more tomorrow. Have a great day. If you'd like to get my help personally, marksinspiration.com. Gotta go. See ya.